Thank you for tuning into Rich Girl Network TV. I'm your host, Jim Blanton, and today I am at TV1 CLEO TV show lineup and NAACP Image Award announcements. I'm going to be bringing you a lot of interviews from our stars, and you'll also get a behind-the-scenes look at the press junket panel. Stay tuned, and as always, we'll bring you lots of entertainment news and more Rich Girl Network TV. Got everything? All right, we are good. Hello, beautiful people. How y'all doing today? Well, thank you. So I have a question before we start talking about Giants. I'm so sorry. I have to get this off my chest because I did not have time to look it up. Were you on a show called Angel?
Yes, I absolutely was on Angel. Yes.
Okay, I had to get that off my chest. Sorry. But we are here to talk about Giants, your new show that is appearing on CLEO TV. I watched the trailer, and I know it's tackling a lot of themes that we typically don't like to talk about in our culture. So I'm going to start with the lovely Vanessa. Could you tell me one of the themes your character is tackling this season?
So my character journey is almost 30-something dealing with clinical depression journey. We see her in season 1 trying to fill that space and try to fill that void with men in relationships and really doing her best to kind of avoid her family who kind of doesn't understand her diagnosis and thinks it a cop-out. We also then follow her into season 2 where with the help of her friend Malachi and her other friend today, she's able to come to a place where she realizes she needs to start getting help. So we see her not trying to necessarily pull herself up by her own bootstraps, but rather going to a therapist and working her program and getting to not quite the other side, but realizing this is a giant that she's never going to be able to completely eradicate, but that she can tame.
Okay, and James, who plays Malachi, is that right? Yes. Your character?
Yeah, so Malachi is dealing with his purpose. He's lost. He's moved to LA in search of something that he hasn't been able to obtain. And so he just gets lost and he starts working as a sex worker. He starts doing coke. He starts partying. He starts manipulating his friends. And so he really has to deal with the man he's become. But his giant is his purpose, yeah.
That's really interesting. You said the sex worker part. I mean, we hear about everything. We kind of know that may go on, but we have actually not seen that brought to fruition in front of the lens. So how was that for you tackling a character that's going through that?
You know, it was, for me, I feel as if I was kind of revealing, the life or the secret life of actual, real guys in LA that, I've come across. And so I was always pulling from things that I had experienced and, conversations that I had and stories that I heard. But for me, it wasn't a difficult thing. It was actually, it was quite fun.
Good. It was fun. Okay, we know what scenes to watch for. No, just kidding. And your character?
Well, the character that I end up playing on the show, mostly I'm a writer and a director on the show. But the character that I eventually end up playing is an attorney named Andrew Prescott. And Malachi ends up crossing paths with this attorney, and he ends up being the person that sort of like gives Malachi the stern talking to that he needs at that point in the season. So that's the character that I play.
So from the show overall, these characters have different issues that they're tackling. What is it that you want the viewers to take away from it?
Yeah, the thing that we would love viewers to take away is just a sense of hope, that because we're all broken. We all have giants that we're battling with. However, you don't have to allow these giants to defeat you. You don't have to stay broken. And so the goal is for folks to get to a place of wholeness. And we hope that the show helps them, on their journey to wholeness.
And I do know that the show started out as a web series. You tell us what it was like transitioning from a web series to now being on a network television show.
I think that's more of a James question.
Yeah. I mean, it was a huge learning experience, I'll tell you that. Just in terms of like standard and practices, broadcast safe zones, just, the entire standard, that you have to uphold to be on television. But it was also encouraging to know that we were already, TV ready, in terms of our production value. And so for us, it's like the vision is being fulfilled because we always saw this show as a TV show. We just so happened to stream, on the internet. And so now we're just kind of stepping into a place that we already knew we could occupy.
But I really want folks to understand the Cinderella story of it all, because really this show just started as one man sitting in his living room deciding to make a TV show. He didn't ask for anybody's permission. He didn't go out pitching it and doing all this. He just had a vision for a show. He wrote every episode of the first season, directed most of them, got his lovely and loyal friends to, act in it, to do costumes, to consulting produce, to do all of these things, and then had the foresight to turn season 2 into more of a typical TV production with a writer's room and a directing staff, now more people, more sponsorship, more brands, and then to be now embraced by an organization like TV One and CLEO TV and be one of their first shows is like, I look at my friend and I'm in awe of what he's been able to put together.
That is amazing. So, the lovely Vanessa, can you tell us how we can keep up with the show, when it's airing, what day, what time?
April 7th, you're going to be able to binge watch us on CLEO. So the first season is going to roll out kind of like a marathon, and it's going to be on Sundays, right?
Yep, Sundays.
Sundays, so you'll be able to sit down, watch all of the first season, and then later on in the summer we'll have season 2 premiere.
It'll be Sundays at 9 a.m.
Yeah, nice.
So y'all need to go to Bedside Baptist.
Right.
Oh, okay. So go to church and then watch it at 7.
Yeah,
7.
but if you happen to go to Bedside Baptist,
But if you go to
catch
Bedside
it
Baptist,
at 9 a.m. and then encore at 7 p.m.
Or if you went to
Gotcha.
Saturday night service, because you're loyal and faithful, then you can watch it at 9 a.m.
Thank you guys so much. You guys were amazing. Of course, Thank you so much. Nominated for NAACP Image Award this year. How does that make you feel?
Oh, God, I'm at a loss for words. It hit me like a ton of bricks on that stage while announcing. It was so crazy knowing, Logan was nominated and not being able to tell her. And then she had the information about me as well. So, they really let the surprise sink in. But it feels great. It feels really great to be nominated and recognized by the NAACP that has such a beautiful, strong, present history of championing issues that affect me and people who look like me, and shepherding issues and advocating for things that affect people like me and that looks like my sister and my family. So to be recognized by your own is very powerful.
Sure is. Now, of course, we fell in love with you in Black Panther, of course, but as we all know, that success isn't an overnight thing, it's a journey. So can you tell us just a little bit about the path that you took to get you here today?
Path that I took, and I knew I wanted to do this at a young age, and I took the academic route. So I majored in it in college, and then I went and I pursued a master's of fine arts in acting, and subsequently did about 600 auditions before I landed Black Panther, across the mediums of film, television, and theater. So, it took a long time and a lot of hard work. And, I'd love to give a shout out to all my contemporaries who are still grinding in that way. Because I'd love to share that the grind doesn't stop. It just changes. So I'm still grinding. I'm still reading scripts constantly, still looking for good relationships, still looking for great collaborators to make work with and keep this train moving. But I recognize the struggle that, other artists are in trying to just get that job that really allows them to showcase what they can really do, So I really recognize that, and I'd love to just give a shout out to them.
Thank you for that. Now, in keeping with the spirit of keeping the train moving, you have another movie that's coming out soon called Us. Jordan Peele. Tell us a little bit about your character in that movie.
I play Gabe Wilson. He's the father of 2 children and married to Adelaide Wilson, and they're trying to have a great summer vacation until they're confronted with this horror of seeing what looks like themselves trying to kill them, and they can't make any sense of what's going on, and it's really a piece about how we could be our own worst enemies, in many ways than one. So I invite you to check that out.
I'm definitely going to check it out.
March 22nd.
March 22nd?
Yes.
So is there anything else you have on the horizon that you can let the cat out of the bag on?
Cat's out of the bag yet, but meow meow, they're scratching, So,
I see, I know it.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us, and congratulations on everything. Thank you. Now,